Scotland. It is a land of many things, and one thing in particular, Scotland loves a castle. Some are in great condition, others not so much. And I'm going to be showing you today two castles in the East Lothian region. Firstly, we have Dunbar Castle, which, no surprise, is in the town of Dunbar. These days, though, there is not much left of the good Dunbar Castle. It is now home to a family of seagulls, mainly Stephen Seagull. So Dunbar Castle is a castle that has gone through many changes throughout the years. It has been attacked, damaged and rebuilt so many times that its appearance has changed drastically over the centuries. It's always been a defensive castle. Dunbar, the word means fort of the headland or point, and this castle has been a fort for more than 2,000 years, and it's probably since Roman times. In 1071, the Earl of Dunbar built the first stone fortress on the site. But by 1214, the English attacked it, but they were unsuccessful. In 1294, Edward I successfully attacked the castle. And then in 1314, the castle gave shelter to Edward II after his defeat at Bannockburn. The Scots damaged the castle, so the English could not use it. In the 1500s, the Dunbar Castle was further strengthened by Mary de Guise, Mary Queen of Scots' mother. In 1566, Mary Queen of Scots sought refuge here after the murder of her secretary and advisor, Rizzio. 2 days after her husband, Lord Darnley, and other lords' successful plot to murder Rizzio, she escaped to Dunbar, riding for 5 hours while pregnant. In 1567, though, Mary was abducted and brought here by the Earl of Bothwell. The desirable strategic location of the castle was considered a source of trouble, so the Scottish Parliament ordered its destruction. So, this is what remains of Dunbar Castle. It's old. Tantallon Castle. This big thing in the background. And it's very impressive when you're coming in and you just see this massive structure on the horizon. We're coming to a castle and you're on about murdering snails. Do you know how many people have been murdered here?
You just callously crushed 2 snails.
So not too far along the road, about 4 to 6 miles, there's another castle. It's called Tantallon Castle. And this cliff-topped castle was the headquarters for the notorious Red Douglas family. Their commanding coastal fortress was a place of business and banquets, battle and bloodshed. In the 1350s, with pride and joy, William I Earl of Douglas builds Tantallon Castle, a celebration of his newfound wealth and status. But by 1389 there was a family divide. The House of Douglas splits into 2. Tantallon passes to the junior line. The Earls of Angus are Red Douglases. 1491 saw the royal wrath. James IV attacks the castle after the 5th Earl forms a treasonous pact with the English king. The 5th escapes his stepfather's clutches and lays siege to Tantallon in 1528. In 1528, 16-year-old James V attacked Tantallon with a large force of men and guns. Vengeance against his guardian turned jailer Archibald, 6th Earl of Angus. James's father had been killed when he was a baby, and ambitious nobles fled. No, that's not right. James's father had been killed when he was a baby, and ambitious nobles vied for custody of the king to assert their own authority. Earl Archibald married James's mother, Margaret Tudor, putting him in a powerful position. In 1525, the leading nobles argued to a rota system, whereby the king would stay with each of them in turn. But Archibald refused to hand James over, imprisoning him in Edinburgh Castle. James escaped in May 1528. He joined his mother while her estranged husband retreated here. The king declared his stepfather a traitor, gathered an army and marched on Tantallon. Tradition has it that his drums beat the rhythm, ding dong, knocked down Tantallon. However, despite a 20-day siege, the castle was never a hair the worse. wide angle lens for this. Imagine trying to get up them stairs after a couple of pints. Oof, yeah. Well, well, well. Oof. She's deep, boy. Because Tantallon could threaten English supply routes by both land and sea, it became very important once more. In September 1650, Cromwell's forces defeated the Scottish army at Dunbar, which was about 4 miles along the coast. By December, a band of 30 Covenanter Moss troopers had occupied Tantallon, using it as a base to raid Cromwell's main line of communication with England. He soon dispatched one more of his star soldiers, General George Monk, to remove them. So this is where the kings and queens would sit to keep an eye out for their Just Eat driver for the kebab that they ordered on Friday night. General George Monk arrived at Tantallon on 8th of February 1651 with as many as 3,000 men and an impressive arsenal. They set up camp and unleashed a devastating bombardment. They've made it to the top and the sun is coming out. Wow. On a not so cloudy day, the view would be just fantastic. It's still pretty good. We've got another tower here. A couple of original steps still standing. Still intact, but yeah. Move across to the garden. This is where the king would have a barbecue. The Scottish garrison probably included 30 moss troopers who had occupied the castle the previous year. They now had the benefit of reinforcement and the leadership of an experienced soldier, Alexander II. Monk's cannon fire inflicted massive damage on Tantallon's curtain wall and 2 of the great towers. The protective earthworks probably spared his mid-tower from the same fate, and it was here that Sitton's troops withdrew after Monk's breached the outer walls. When he surrendered on the 21st of February, Sitton's garrison numbered around 95 men. One English officer credited these desperado gallants, which had done nothing more than harm to Cromwell's forces and the rest of the Scots army. They were shown mercy and taken to Edinburgh as prisoners. This is where my fear of heights comes into play. I can't look over the edge. I think it's time to go down. Final straw for this castle came in 1651 from a familiar name. Oliver Cromwell's troops bombarded the castle, reducing it to the ruin that we see today. Welcome to a 1500s kitchen. You have all the amenities that any family desires. So here's your slop drain, which hasn't seen much slop in a while. Here's your oven. Reckon you can still do a mean pizza in there. What else we got? Here's my wife, queen of the castle herself. And here's the kitchen back door where all the staff went out for a smoke break. Row house. This is where all the drink was stored, and get far away from the actual inside of the building. Keep your drinks at a cool temperature. So there you are. That's Tantallon Castle, Tantallon, whatever you call it. It's very interesting. I never knew this place existed until last week. But something this scale and size, very well worth a visit. It's only about £7.50 to come and see it, and yeah, it's very fascinating, and it stood the test of time here, down just north of Dunbar in East Lothian. Well, I've been Teuchter TV. Cheers. And I couldn't resist, whilst being on the subject of kings and queens, to visit Thor's house in New Asgard, also known as St. Ab's, which is not too far from Tantallon Castle.